I studied spoken word poetry and composed and performed my own.
I used Genius Hour to improve my guitar skills by making a cover album with a few of my fellow classmates.
I researched the full moon and the effects it has on human and animal behavior.
I used Genius Hour to research the differences between the South Korean and United States school systems.
For my Genius Hour, I created a media guide for the Comanche Indians basketball team.
I used Genius Hour to study the resiliency of the human brain in times of trauma.
For Genius Hour, I chose to study therapeutic lotions and how to make stress relief cream.
I explored new hobbies such as crocheting, refashioning clothes, and magic tricks to find my favorite one. I liked refashioning clothes the best.
I learned how to better your health with limited time through diet and exercise.
I learned basic phrases using sign language.
I researched and learned the basics of German.
I researched sleep products and how they affect your sleeping patterns.
During Genius Hour, I researched traditional Chinese medicine and acupressure.
During Genius Hour, I learned how to do several different hairstyles.
I researched more information over one of my career choices of becoming a marine biologist.
For my Genius Hour, I researched how to improve my landscape sketches.
For my Genius Hour, I learned how to play a Beatles song on the piano.
For my Genius Hour, I researched the effects of nutrition on the human body.
I researched as well as experimented with the celebrity fad juice cleansing.
I learned how to rope the heels of a steer with hope of one day, with more practice, I will be a team roper.
For my Genius Hour, I learned how to cross stitch.
During Genius Hour, I learned how to use animation software program while at the same time trying to teach someone else.
I created a concept album themed around the multifaceted life of a nameless protagonist.
For Genius Hour, I learned how to create special effects using makeup.
For my Genius Hour, I researched procedures of filmmaking, such as camera angles, lighting, sounds, and etc.
Okay. I spent my Genius Hour learning how to play Hey Jude and House of the Rising Sun on the saxophone, which I have never played before.
I learned about the psychological and genetic differences between left and right-handed people, and I also tried to master becoming left-handed. I used my Genius Hour to research 3 different religions, specifically Buddhism, Shinto, and the ancient Greek religion.
I studied the Socratic method and how it can improve my debate.
I learned to be a kick booty baker, and I created a website where I can post my recipes on for future references.
I researched techniques to draw people realistic.
I've been researching how sleep and different types of people are affected by their sleep patterns and how it affects their productivity during their daily life.
I learned how to bake and decorate cupcakes, and I made a recipe book to share my creations.
I spent my Genius Hour learning the basic 5 positions of ballet and various other moves.
I created a website to help raise awareness for animal abuse and also the basics of beneficial animal care.
I researched Dante's Inferno and compared it to the biblical representation of hell.
I learned how to palpate or pregnancy check cattle.
I researched the process of making lariat ropes.
I used my research skills to determine if Bigfoot existed.
I created a blog named Ever Sterling Science, and I sewed 2 extravagant evening dresses.
I used my math and science skills to launch a rocket using air pressure and water.
I researched healthy eating and exercises, then I compiled it all together into
I created an online newspaper to prepare myself for a future in journalism.
I invested in hypothetical stocks to learn more about the market. I created a website with healthy recipes and workouts, and I've had over 6,000 views.
I studied the effects of domestic violence on teenagers, and am writing an article of my...
I studied human behavior to become a profiler. Are you a psychopath?